Welcome out to EG Live. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I'm joined by my partner in crime, one of my best friends, my worst enemy, Cyrus Martin. How you doing, man?
EG Live.
Shut up. It is a Friday night. Normally we do this on a Thursday night, but I goofed up, so it is what it is.
We had a miscommunication. You know, these things happen. Yeah. The way it happens is like one person understands what's actually going on, and the other person is Eugene.
Oh, that was a good dig, though. That was nice. So, okay. Let's see here. Let me get everything situated here real quick. Go ahead and get the chat listed in here. We like to have the chat in here. So
this again.
Let's see here.
I like this whenever I was winning. It was a lot better when I was winning.
We'll leave it at regular and do it that way. There we go. Okay. Let's see. PJ Smith's here, man. Hey, PG
Smith. That is not the case.
That is not it. No, yeah.
PG-13 Smith.
PJ is here. I'm sure once my boy realizes I've gone live, he'll jump in here in a second. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right on into it because we have a lot to talk about tonight. And of course, we're going to start off with the fall winter movie game. So Regretting You, still at number 1, Black Phone 2, Chainsaw Man, Predator, Tron Ares. None of these I think are going to change. I say that. There are a few movies that I was looking on the list that are I think at the $5 million per thing mark. So there may actually be a little movement on that. There are some movies that are making, some good money and were actually worth buying. But
can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Isn't it a weird time where you can be a movie in the top 5 movies released and still your entire series gets canned? Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So I was going to mention that. So this weekend, there's like 3 big movies, at least 3 movies coming out. They've all been heavily promoted. That's why I'm saying there's 3 big movies coming out. What was it? Crap, I can't even remember what they are. Oh, SpongeBob is coming out, and The Housemaids. And I heard that if you go to the theater to go watch the new Avengers Doomsday trailer, go ahead and stay because apparently there's like an after credit for it. It's like 3.5 hours long. It's really weird. It's got a bunch of blue cat people. So yeah, if you go to watch the Doomsday trailer, go ahead and stay for the after credit thing. So you paid for it, you might as well, right? So I like how I'm the one making you about it, and it's my movie that.
I was trying to figure out what you were talking about. I was like, what is he talking about? Oh, Avatar. Oh.
Yeah, Avatar. So far, the things have been saying it's good, which is good, but it's
never
good.
know.
It's not.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? I was going to look here real quick just to see some of these other numbers. Fall winter movie game. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. So, we're going to no, wait a minute. This is the old one. Woo. I was like, wait a minute. Joker. That's not the correct year.
That would be weird if that all of a sudden was in the top movies.
I know, right? Yeah, here we go. This is better. So The Housemaid came out, Avatar Fire and Ash, and SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants all came out. All of these have been heavily promoted, so who knows? They may actually end up doing something. But Wicked for Good is sitting at $312 million. Zootopia 2 is sitting at $258 million.
Are you supposed to be showing that on the screen right now?
No, I was just kind of talking about. Okay. I can real quick though. Let's see here. Boop.
I didn't know if you were
just put that there. It's kind of hard to see because it's. Let me see if I can do this. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do this?
No.
No, that's the wrong thing. I don't want to do that. Go back to 100% there. Let's go back over here. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, there we go.
You sound like you're narrating a really bad lovemaking session. What happens if we do this?
Let's do this. No, do this now. Tron Ares is at $6 million per point, and this Begonia, at 5.8. So I mean, it's close. It could overtake it. Five Nights at Freddy's at 5.3 million per point.
I'm surprised that hasn't made more money. The
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
I mean, it's currently sitting at $95 million. I don't think that's too bad. I wonder what the first one made though. So what was crazy is Christy and I went to go to the movies a couple of weekends ago, and it was like on a Friday night. We went on Friday night and it was busy. Like it was a busy movie theater. And I'm just like, wow, what came out? And there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of smaller kids, but there's a lot of like middle school, high school age kids. And I'm like, what came out? And I was like, Five Nights at Freddy's. And at least that first weekend, it was enough that it did fairly well. So my boys, we went and watched the first one, but neither one of them said that they really wanted to go see the second one. So I don't know. But yeah, so, and then like I said, this weekend, we've got those 3 movies coming out. So, and then after that, the only other 2 movies, we've only got one more weekend of new movies coming out. And then we've got 2 weeks for everything to settle. Return of the Living Dead, which I've seen nothing else about. I don't know if that movie is going to definitely still come out, but I know Anaconda's coming out because they're advertising the hell out of that.
I don't even see ads, and I've seen ads for that.
I know, right? So, which brings us to our top 10. Bruce is still sitting at number 1 spot. Sight number 2. Chris, Buzz.
Damn.
Yeah, like he's definitely pulled ahead on that. I'm sitting at number 12. I'm still in last place. I guarantee I won't be this weekend though. Unless it just completely bombs, I know I'll be in at least the top 10. But we're gonna see. We'll see if people still want to go watch the Avatar. So I know I'm not gonna go see it. But that's just me. That's also just me. So so let's go ahead and move on into our first story for the evening. This is a catch-up story. We've been talking about this one for a while. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're going to talk about that one next. We're going to talk about this one first.
Ooh, that was tough. You blew that up on me real quick. I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
Sorry about that. So earlier this week on December 14th, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer, were killed on December 14th. Of course, trying to, we are not a news, we're not a, this is not a news show. This is not a, but we're going to try to say, we're going to say this as correct as I can. Their son, Nick Reiner, was taken into custody and booked for murder. Read into that what you want. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. I know that young man has had some mental issues his entire life. I know he's been hospitalized at least once, maybe several times for it. But yeah, but we're not gonna focus on that. We're gonna focus on the man himself, Rob Reiner. If you don't know who Rob Reiner is, you've got to be a lot younger than we are, because the man made a huge impact on not only our generation but generations before us. He got his start as Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. If you've never watched All in the Family, it was ahead of its time. It was very divisive. And like, I mean, it just very much was. It's funny because I was listening to a podcaster talk about today. He said he's like, that was my dad's favorite show growing up. And he's like, yeah, he said, Archie Bunker was MAGA before MAGA was MAGA. And he said the funny thing, he's telling the story though, he was just like, yeah, and it just pissed my dad off because when what's his face went on the Carol Burnett show and was very liberal, he's just like, well, I don't like this. He's like, well, what? He's playing a character, Dad. Like, he's like, yeah, but that's totally opposite of how he is in real life. Yeah, that happens. Like,
that was the point of the show. It
exactly.
Was supposed to, yeah. Did you know that show was number 1 on TV for like 4 years in a row?
Yep.
Like, it was wild how popular that show was. And it was popular because of that, because some people got it and some people didn't get it, but still loved it. And that was the brilliance of that show, was it really did expose America as for what it was, and gave people, a reason to talk about a lot of topics that they didn't even know they needed to talk about. And it was, like you said, ahead of its time.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Wasn't the Jeffersons a spinoff of that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think George Jefferson was on there specifically as a character. He first started as a character on there as a foil for Archie Bunker. So
yeah. I think the first Jefferson's character was Wheezy, and I think she was on there before George was on.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And think about the shows that spun off of that show. So this was like the beginning of a lot of stuff. So,
do you know, and I cannot remember the name of it, I know we've talked about it on previous shows, there's a certain character, a certain actor, a certain character that back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, played the same character on multiple TV shows, just kind of as a random thing. And they're like, well, then that technically makes it's like 12 different shows all in the same universe. Like St. Elsewhere is technically in the same universe as this. And it's that. PJ Smith, the Bunkerverse, All in the Family, Maude, the Jeffersons, Archie Bunker's play. Yeah, like it's crazy how if you go with the multiverse idea nowadays and apply it to older TV shows, it's crazy how many some of these shows like all fit in together. So
and then there's unofficial connections, like because Sherman Hemsley from the Jeffersons went on and did some other shows later and had cameos from people. And you could make the case that he
was still playing,
right? George that Jefferson. There was there was still connection. So yeah, it's fun. That's fun.
It is fun. But the TV shows that I listed here were just some of the. It's funny because they were all listed newer shows. I mean, he was most known for his TV appearance as the Meathead. But like just as like if you've not watched The Bear is a fantastic show. I normally don't like dramas, but that is a fantastic show. He had a recurring character in The Bear. He was in New Girl. He was in Wolf of Wall Street, 30 Rock. He was in Hannah Montana. Like that just says what this, like the breadth of what this man would do. Like he would be like, yeah, if you want me in it, I'll be in it. And he gave it his all every time he did. One of my favorite things that he did, which is not a visual acting thing. One of my all-time favorite books is World War Z. They did two versions of it. They did an abridged version, and then they did a full version of it. And he's in the full version. I want to say he plays the vice president that ends up becoming president, and they called him the Wacko. And he's like his presence, just speaking, his presence is so good. But yeah, when I heard that, I was just like, is that Rob Reiner? That's gotta be Rob Reiner. I was like, man, this is like, of course, the guy who wrote it is I'm blanking out on his name, Mel Brooks' son. And I'm sure he was like, hey, Dad, can you ask some of your connections if they want to read the audio version of my book? And of course, he has a Rolodex like no one else. He's just like, hey, Rob, you want to read my son's book? Yeah, sure, I'll read on your son's book.
So I'm glad you said that. I think it's worth mentioning that Carl Reiner, their dad, and Mel Brooks and Albert Brooks' dad were comedy partners. They did stuff together, and the families were very close. They did a lot of stuff together that people don't know about. And I've been watching so much Rob Reiner stuff. It's really, they did Conan O'Brien's podcast not too long ago. And,
okay.
Apparently, man, everyone loved Rob Reiner. Like he had so many close friendships with so many famous celebrities and their families and stuff. I mean, there's people that have not made any kind of comment because it's just too painful because of the connections. But yeah, Rob Reiner was, since he's passed, I think people are starting to really get an idea of the scope of who this guy really was and what he did, not just for movies and TV, but for the people, for a generation of audiences and also a generation or two of show business people.
Mm-hmm.
He really was a huge positive influence in a lot of ways. I mean, forget about politics. I'm not talking about politics, you know, just like his personal influence, his personal effect. You know, it's so sad. It's the more you see, the more depressing it gets, you know.
Hey, Trichome. I said comb, not chrome. But he was known also for directing. Talk about a who's who. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men. How many of those movies do you quote constantly?
Yeah, these are not good movies. These are all-time American classics. These are highly influential, like, masterpieces. These are like what, you know, and he went out of his way to do movies of different genres, you know.
Yes, and that's the thing. Yeah,
this guy was unbelievably talented, you know. I heard some people trying to criticize him and say, like, well, he hadn't had a big movie in a long time and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, do you think Rob Reiner was incapable of making another big movie like that? Or do you think he was doing something else? Like, you think he couldn't do it anymore? Or this guy was really trying to help his son. Like, the stuff anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just going to go on and talk about, you know, the great dude that he was, learning all this stuff. You know, it's so sad.
It is sad. I mean, like I was saying, can you not say what does it go up to? And you cannot not say it goes to 11, man. Like that. The Princess Bride is the dude's romantic comedy. Period. Like, if you were going to make a romantic comedy for dudes, The Princess Bride is it. Like, and you can just pick. There's so many lines from that movie. But like you said, but also the breadth, like you were talking about, like you've got comedies in here. You've got like A Few Good Men may be one of the best courtroom movies ever. Like, the performances in it were just like,
dude, A Few Good Men is like the movie that united my conservative friends and my liberal friends, and everybody was like, this movie's amazing. Like, but for different reasons probably, but still, the quotes from Jack Nicholson, the quotes from, you know, the Kevin Pollak, the Kevin Bacon, man. I mean, but that movie is I mean, A Few Good Men, when it came out, I was really disappointed that it didn't win certain Oscars, but it was going up against Unforgiven, so that was tough.
It's tough, like, yeah.
But Jack Nicholson, who has at least for the majority of my life been my favorite actor of all actors. Mm-hmm. A Few Good Men is an iconic cornerstone performance. And you know, the stories you hear about the behind the scenes stuff about how Rob Reiner directed and how he encouraged the actors and talked to them about like there's I saw an interview with, you know who Jerry O'Connell is? So he was in Stand By Me, and he was a little kid, and he was saying that he hadn't really done any big movies. This was like his one, you know, his first big movie with big director and everything. He's a kid. He's given his performance, and then at the end of the take, he starts to ad-lib a little bit, throw in a little bit extra like kid stuff, joking around, saying some things that aren't in the script, but like he felt like maybe was the right thing to do. And as soon as he got done, Rob Reiner yells, "Cut!" And he gets up and he starts walking over, and everybody's like, "Oh." And he's like this little kid. Rob Reiner's this huge guy. And he's like, "Oh, he's the director. He's a big guy. He's walking towards me. I did something I shouldn't have. Maybe I'm going to get chewed out in front of everybody or whatever." Rob Reiner walks up and says, we need more of that. Everybody, that's what we need. Do that. Let's go again. Good job. And Jerry O'Connell said that was the moment that gave him confidence as an actor to have, you know, to know that he had instincts and the instincts could be right. And that's what acting could be, and it like changed his whole like outlook on what he was doing. And that's not the only story like that. There's a lot of stories that I'm hearing and seeing where people became who they became because of Rob Reiner. Like this is so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's kind of, by the way, that this is Spinal Tap has his first movie he directed, and the sequel is his last, unless he did something that's going to be released post. He was like, no, actually, my understanding is that the second Spinal Tap movie, which comes out next year, was the last thing that he directed. So, American President. Last line mentioned American President. One of my all-time favorite lines. Martin Sheen says in that movie, "You only fight the fights you can win. You fight the fights that need fighting." And I'm just like, that keeps me going. I constantly remember that quote. That keeps me going when I think, it's tough. This is probably something that is I'm not going to win at work, but you know what? I need to stand up for this. And I've lived by that from time to time. And it's like, yeah, fucking awesome movie. I need to go back and watch that one again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we lost a giant this last week. So, which is really sad. So
what's really sucks, I don't want to get into this too much, so I'll just very briefly say this. It really sucks that we can have a moment where we lose somebody that is so prominent and so influential and so positively effective towards the public, and it gets mixed up and messed up by a bunch of sideshow political stuff. Like, it's like, I think if we all step back and we look at what's happened with this situation, it's just a tragedy. It's just an absolute tragedy for all of us. It's not, look, I don't care what your politics are. You don't have to agree with, come on, it's Hollywood. What, 90% of the people in Hollywood are going to have a certain opinion about things. And that doesn't mean you don't like the movies. It doesn't mean you don't like a lot of the positive stuff that happens. We got to separate things. And it gets it's sad that it got kind of, one of the reasons that people have gotten so interested and vocal about Rob Reiner is the unfortunate mess that has happened. And I just think, I'm glad people care about Rob Reiner, but I think that in time, we're going to look back on that part of it and be like, damn, that's very tacky. That was an unfortunate, thing that happened that did not need to happen, because you absolutely disagree with people. Sure, have your opinions, have your takes, your philosophies in life, absolutely. But man, we really have to stop like just demonizing each other because we have people have differences of opinion in their lifetime and what they try to do as far as their activism. Sure, disagree, but come on, look at this. Look, who hasn't watched Stand By Me and had major life altering thoughts that occur to you just watching that movie, just that one movie? Forget about everything else. Yeah, I don't know of any movie that I saw of his that was shoving some political agenda down anybody's throat. I guess the biggest example you could say would be A Few Good Men, but nobody took it that way. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling, but I get really annoyed by the self-righteous indignation of people who feel like as soon as somebody dies, now it's time to go after them. I'm like, come on. Can we not? We're all going to die, man. We're all going to die. And what are we supposed to do? Trash each other when we die? Is that what we're doing now? Is that the thing? Because it's easy. They're dead. They can't defend themselves. So, Anyway, sorry. I'll shut up.
Maybe in the future we need to get before we know it's going to happen. Maybe we should write some comebacks and send them to each other and be like, well, if anyone trash talks Sly, Like, by the way, this was Si's last thought, and so you can have the last laugh.
I will not be doing that because I fully, well, since you said that, I am not a Rob Reiner, but when I do pass, I fully expect there will still be about 3 people, maybe 4 on the internet who trash me publicly. I know that will happen. I know who they are too, and if they decide to, here's my response. Good for you. Enjoy your life. I'll be dead. What difference does that make? I don't care what people say about me, but I do care about what people say about people like Rob Reiner, who I honestly feel like was one of the best of us. And it's just a shame. And I'll shut up about it.
It is a shame. Let's see here. Last Line said he thought it was in the theater a couple months ago. He's right. I actually misread that. And I was looking, I was like, man, this actually came out in September. And now I realize why it flew under my radar, because we did the summer movie game and it lasted until August. And then the fall winter movie game picked up in October. And so it was in that one brief little area there that it wasn't constantly on my radar. So yeah, I'll have to go back and see if I can check that one out. But yeah, there's several movies here that, like, I guarantee if I was like, hey, does anyone want to rewatch some of these things? I'll definitely get a couple people like, yeah, sure, I'll watch that with you. So I have shown the boys The Princess Bride. And of course they were very reluctant at first. And then afterwards, so what'd you think? It was pretty good, Dad. Yeah, fuck yeah, it was a pretty good movie, wasn't it?
It's great that it can still have that impact. Of course, to us, it's different because, we grew up in a different time and Andre the Giant was in it. And it was a whole, it was a different impact for us. But it's great that it still survives and has that same energy for the kids these days. That's good.
Yeah. Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah.
All right.
I do not think that means what you think it means.
Oh my God. There's so many lines. So
definitely Mandy Patinkin's best thing he ever did.
Oh, and you know what? I think he's even said that. I think he's like, of everything that I've done, it's my favorite. And I think it's most people's favorites, which and he's not saying that as a bad way. It's not like, well, everything else I've done is garbage after that. It's just like, no.
I used to watch him on Chicago Hope or whatever that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that dude's awesome. And then I found out, no. That's the guy from Princess Bride. That's Inigo Montoya. I was like,
hell yeah, dude.
I was like, what? Yeah. God. And it's one story after another of actors and people in the industry and just regular folks that have all these stories about their, being in the orbit of somebody like Rob Reiner. The dude was a legend. He's one of the greatest American directors we've ever had.
Yep.
He's up there on the Mount Rushmore, with the best of them.
That would be an interesting conversation sometime. Come up with the Mount Rushmore of American directors. So we're not going into that now because that's an entire episode by itself.
Yeah, that would be tough too. That would be tough.
Hell yeah. All right. So let's go and move on to our next story. This is the one I was thinking is out of that's actually a catch up from last time. So Warner Brothers officially rejected Paramount. Like they flat out came out and said, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're offering us $30 per share, $108 billion. Quote, it is inadequate with significant risk and cost imposed on our shareholders. Basically, they said, your money ain't good enough. Because what it came down to was, and later on in the article, and by the way, I'll link all the articles that we refer to on the episode in the show notes. So if you ever want to go back and like look at the article, please do. But yeah, they specifically went in and said, they're like, yeah, a lot of the money is coming from the Middle East, and we're not sure about that. And technically, you're saying these loans should go through, but they haven't yet. So like, is it going to go through? Like, things are kind of questionable. Netflix quite literally has cash in hand and stocks that are doing nothing but going up. This is not what you think you're bidding on. Like you are bidding. And then I was even talking to Nick about it. He goes, didn't you also say they're only wanting like half of the business? Like they would still technically have the TV stuff to sell. I'm like, yes, they still would be making additional money on the deal. So
Yeah, I think what's going on with Paramount is there's some stuff going on that's they're trying to make it the company look better than it is, and they have some major problems.
And that could be two smaller fish, one's eating the other one and hoping that it can make a little bit bigger. I always halfway thought Netflix was just going to be like, all right, cool, we'll just wait until y'all run it in the ground and then we'll buy it for less from y'all when y'all have to sell it off because y'all aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. But yeah, we are confident that our merger with Netflix represents a superior, more certain value. Paramount would they'd have to persuade shareholders to sell. Like, they could still technically go to the shareholders, individually and say, hey, we'll give you this much or whatever. And they could convince quite a few of them. I don't know if they could convince enough of them to, get the lion's share of it. Or they'd have to come back with a better offer. And at that point, I don't know who else is going to, throw in money, because as is, I'm sure, who was it? It's Comcast, NBC. Someone else is like, we'll take the TV stuff. And so like they were probably wanting the Netflix thing to go through anyway. So they may end up scooping that up. So
where was this attitude when Microsoft was buying everything?
I know, right?
Talk about stuff that should have gotten blocked. I mean, Microsoft ran everything into the ground that they bought. I mean, everything. Anyway.
Last line says there are actually some very political reasons behind Paramount trying to buy it. The WB library stuff itself isn't even what they're interested in the most. From Paramount's position, I would agree with that last line, specifically because if Paramount were to have gone through with this, they would own the majority of like cable and broadcast television. Like, this would be a huge boon for them. I'd rather Disney buy WB so we could have DC and Marvel crossovers. And see, that's why Disney would never not be able to buy it, because someone would be like, no, they will have all of comic books. I don't know if that would keep it enough from happening, but Disney also runs everything into the ground. LOL. I would disagree with that.
Well, I mean,
I've asked for a couple of years ago. Now, especially when we get to the last story tonight. There he is. Well. Where you been? Boy? But yeah, so yeah, just wanted to kind of catch up on this. So as for right now, I mean, it's not 100% done yet. Like the check has not cleared. Things could still happen, but as for right this second, Netflix is one. We'll see if Paramount comes back. And then again, there may also still be some grumbling from the FCC as to whether, I don't know if this is legally going to be a thing. This might be a conflict of interest, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we'll see. I just know there's probably going to be a lot of money moving around behind the scenes for this to finally get done. So I will say, like right now, I currently have a bundle that is Hulu, Disney Plus, and HBO. And since Netflix will be owning HBO, I wonder if Netflix is going. I'm sure they will. I'm sure Netflix is going to jack up the price some. But what if they didn't? What if my bill actually went down by $10 a month? That would be insane. So
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll jack up the price. Oh, hey, you're getting all this other stuff too. So, yeah. You disagree, sir? Let me introduce you to Disney, Star Wars, Disney, Marvel. That's what I'm saying. A couple of years ago, I would have disagreed with you. Now, yeah.
When I think, honestly, of years, we're old. A couple of years to us, I guess, seems like, 10 years maybe is a couple of years to us now? I don't know.
Okay, that's exactly right, Luke. That's the one that was the standout of everything, was Muppets. What the hell are you doing with Muppets? Like, apparently Muppets are big everywhere else in the world except for the US. And I know they would be. They've just got to do the right thing. And I can't tell you, and we've even talked about it on the show. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people saying, why don't we just what isn't Disney how they keep wanting to do live action versions of their movies? How about you live action remake a movie and make it with Muppets? I'm telling you right now, the Muppets, Beauty and the Beast, all Muppet cast except for John Hamm as the Beast. I will fucking go to that movie theater and watch that. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Yeah, Seth Rogen bringing back Muppets Show. I understand that's just a one-off thing, but I've also heard that it's probably a test. A full-on Muppet Show, like modern Muppet Show, I think there are tons of celebrities that would love to be on that. Like, that could totally go over really well. So 10 years is most of my life. All right, Wolfus, we don't need to hear it. Guess they're licensing them out to
Jeff Keighley. That's
Keighley?
the Game Awards.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
There was a thing with Miss Piggy while we were doing our stream.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. Didn't hear much. Like, I've heard there were a couple of people. I saw a couple of reactions for a couple of games that were coming out, but other than that, like, no one seemed to care who won what. It was just like, did you see the trailer for this? Did you see the trailer for this?
Dude, while we were doing the show and they showed the Tomb Raider thing, I was like, I think I even commented during the show. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Didn't think too much about it. And then all of a sudden, after it's over with, there's all these like videos where everyone has all these crazy opinions about the Tomb Raider. It's like, it's funny how people latch on to something. They'll be like, oh, good, we can use this for our regular stream of videos that we do about this topic. Like, oh, Tomb Raider. Yeah, it's opposite opinion. Anyway, never mind. But the game looks pretty cool, the new Tomb Raider.
Oh my! Muppets Spaceballs would be hell. Okay, number one, Spaceballs 2 is coming. I cannot wait. If it's half as good, did you happen to see History of the World Part 2 that was on Hulu?
I have not seen that.
Oh my god, it is so fucking funny.
I've heard it's good.
I've heard it's good. It is so funny, and I was just like, oh, but they broke it into like 6 1 hour. No, it worked really well. So. The Game Awards are basically a big advertising scheme. I would say big advertising a commercial. It's basically like a 2.5 3 hour commercial. So
you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. I think the Muppets, they should use the Muppets for actual real commercials. Like I think they have in the past, but like there's so many opportunities. Why is it no company has figured out that you could make really fun family commercials using Cookie Monster to sell cookies? Like,
hell yeah.
How have we not figured this out? Like,
no, right?
I'm just saying, like, make some money, do some stuff, put them out there in the public spotlight in ways where people will see them. And you can also make some money. I don't care. It's commercial anyway. Like these movies are commercial.
Like is Nabisco not, like, did they not have an advertising thing? Like,
like you're not going
to the official chocolate chip cookie of Cookie Monster, dude. Yes. Like kids will be like, oh, I got to go get these cookies now. Like,
yes,
because that's how kids are. Hell,
I made an AI song. I made an AI song a while back called "Me Want Cookie," and it's a fun song.
I think I heard that.
Yeah, and I'm like, the whole time I was listening to it after I put it together, I was like, man, this would be a good commercial. This would be such a good commercial. Like baking cookies and the little girl running around with her little Cookie Monster doll.
Mm.
Dude, you talk about some of my favorite commercials of all time are like those old school family Christmas commercials. Like they used to have this awesome commercial for Nestle Toll House Morsels.
Mm-hmm.
Nestle Toll House Morsels. I can't remember how this would go. It was like, save them for your cookies, or your cookies will look like this. And it's like, no chocolate chips on the cookies. Right. I don't know if you remember these commercials, but like,
I vaguely do. Yeah.
Yeah. They had these awesome old school Christmas commercials. I'm just saying, you can't use the Muppets for this. I'm sure you can figure this out. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Last Line has a great idea. Yeah. Chips Ahoy needs a Cookie Monster collab, or maybe some healthy cookie. Dude, yes. Absolutely. If you've got a healthier cookie out on the market and you put it out there and like Cookie Monster's like, oh, this is healthy, I still like it. Like that's going to sell fucking cookies to kids. Like, yeah.
Anyway. We should be in marketing, Eugene. We should be in marketing.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Of course, I guess technically you only need a couple of good ideas and you can just kind of float the rest of the time. I mean, just knock a couple of them out there as long as that. Because I mean, Muppets, how much stuff could you do with Muppets? Like just fucking.
Dude.
anyone and everyone Muppet could do something.
Imagine if McDonald's was to bring back all of their characters and the Muppets showed up and they're all eating at McDonald's, and you know, you have like this moment where like Hamburglar, you know, is getting ready to steal the hamburgers or whatever, but Miss Piggy shows up and like stops them, and I'm just never mind. I'm getting out of control with my imagination for this, but yeah. McDonald's needs to bring back their yes, characters.
They need to be fun again.
Yeah, they really do. We desperately need fun family stuff. We don't have it. In fact, it's gotten to the point to where in this country, if you mention fun family stuff, people just make fun of it because we're so far away from like decency. Like it's a joke now. People think it's a joke if you're like trying to do something family oriented. It's very strange.
Yeah. We got to get figured out. All right. Before we move to our next story, I just wanted to bring up that I have updated the shirt shop. Started doing. There's a purpose for me bringing up a ad in the middle of the show. Stay with me, and I wanted to do it right now because I figured this is when the most people are watching. Stay with me, guys, because I need your help on this. Okay, just keep listening. All right, so I did update our shirt shop. We have some new shirts in the shirt shop. You can find it at epicallygeeky.com and click on merch, or you can go to TeePublic and find it there. Let me swap this out real quick. So yeah, we've got some really awesome shirts on there. Like I did go ahead and make the one that I said, I've never trusted GameStop and I never will. I'll never forgive him for the death of Think Geek. I debated whether or not I was going to put James T. Kirk at the bottom of it. Like he said it. Normalizing finishing bad books and TV series and stuff like that. Well for my son there. I guess we're gonna have to make one of those shirts. And I also made light and dark versions because I got to thinking about it. The problem is especially with the black lettering, it wouldn't look good on black shirt. Let's be honest. Most gamers, most people in technology like to wear black shirts with something on it, right? That's just kind of our code. Even though Cyrus and I are both wearing red shirts right now. That's just kind of the thing. Well, anyway, the reason why I mainly wanted to bring this up is also if you want to buy a shirt, we would love for you to buy a shirt. But if you do not put you on Moogle on a t-shirt, I'm going to drive to your house, break in. It's Jon Snow, and steal your computer so that I can get the artwork for this and make a fucking shirt.
I will at some point.
Everyone in the chat, please tell me, would you or would you not buy Cyrus riding on Jon Snow with a cowboy hat? Totally. I will buy that shirt right now. I'm telling you, no joke.
I did one that's He-Man. That's me with looking like a fat He-Man holding the sword up with the lightning hitting it, and Jon Snow is Battle Cat. I've done that one. I just haven't put it out there.
Oh, fuck yeah. I need this shirt. Hell yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll do that.
Wolfenstein, I better get 99.99% of the profits from the well shirts. Luke's Awakening black shirts are my favorite. Once you go black, you never go back. It is. I am purposely trying to make sure I have different colors in my t-shirt rotation, Luke, because, man, same thing, dude. Like there was a time I'd walk in, I'm just like, oh, there's a lot of black here. This is and being in Texas, like I want to wear t-shirts, but wearing them out in the sun, not so good.
Man.
Not so good. If you did that shirt with no words at all, it would sell to meme fans. Hell yes, it would. I mean, on one hand, you could put super mega graphics on there to help promote your channel. On the other hand, you could just be like, fuck it. I just want the money. So
yeah,
that would be as soon as I saw that, I was just like, now that is Photoshop I can get behind.
This is completely AI right here.
Except
for Jon Snow's eyes. I did that. Everything else is AI.
Fair enough. I'm okay. I'm okay with this AI. I'm okay with this AI.
This is okay. This one's
my wife buys me different colored shirts trying to get me to wear something else. I still choose my black shirts. Dude, yeah, I get it. I totally get it, man. Like
I didn't know
So
that Eugene was going to pull this up. So
no, he had no idea because he's just like, what the hell is he? He's advertising in the middle of the show for his shirts. Where's he going with this? It was just so I could loop into this. I'm just like, if you like those shirts, this is the shirt we want right here, guys. So, Dad, you are not supposed to like AI. I can like AI for certain things. I don't like AI for other things, but we'll get to that story at the end. So, yeah. All right. Speaking of which, it's making gaming fall apart. Well, something's making gaming fall apart. That's actually how I talked about the next three stories because they all are one big story. I titled this The Fall of Affordable PCs. Stage 1, December 3rd, and we talked about this on the last show. Micron announced it's exiting consumer RAM business under the Crucial name. I don't know about you, but like I have bought RAM from different companies over time, and I've had good luck with lots of different companies. But kind of like the peak was always Crucial. You knew if you got Crucial RAM, it was going to work. It was going to work well. And if you had a problem with it, they were going to take care of it. And when I heard this and I heard Micron, I was like, Micron, I know that name. Who is that? And then when I heard that it was Crucial, I was like, oh, fuck. And they've just flat out said the AI-driven growth in data centers has led to the surge in demand. Okay, I get it. They want RAM. They need RAM for all these new data centers. But really, you're deciding, oh, well, we're just going to pull out of consumer RAM. Like, not cut back, not, hey, right now we can make a crap ton of money, so we're going to diverge more RAM over there. No, we're just going to completely jump out. And apparently there's only like 3 real manufacturers of RAM. So a third of all the manufacturers of RAM are now basically saying, we're not selling to gamers, which is just like, ooh, this sucks. And it's being referred to as Ramageddon. And normally I don't really go in for these names of things that are going on, but this is fucking real. RAM prices have surged 500% since this announcement. SSD prices have risen 100%. And companies are buying up DRAM. This is off of a website, The Vengeance. Now, this is for 128 gigs, but it still levels out to being about $400, $450 just for 32 gigs. But 4 gigs of RAM would run you almost $2,000. What the hell? It's now cheaper per pound, per part to buy a pre-built gaming PC. And believe me, the last time, and I hardly ever go to Best Buy, but I did go to Best Buy right before I went, right before Thanksgiving. And actually, my boy Alex went with me. And there were crap tons of pre-built gaming PCs. And I'm just like, who are these for? Like, if you're buying a gaming PC, there are people who are just like, no, I just want to buy the thing and go home, plug it in, and be good to go. But I would say at least 50, maybe 75% of gaming PC people like the building of it and, doing all the things and getting it to look a certain way and everything. It's now cheaper to do this. It's crazy.
The culture of building your PC is a huge part of the master race mentality. I'm not one of those guys. I bought a pre-built because yeah, I got a problem with the screwing up stuff. But it's a big part of the culture, and the culture is changing. The culture of gaming in general, but PC stuff, it's we're in a weird time.
Yes, we are.
And this RAM thing is affecting so many other things. It's not just RAM, it's everything that has RAM in it, and then everything that's connected to the PC, it also gets affected, even if it doesn't have RAM in it, because of how the prices affect. I mean, it's just amazing, the effects. And this is just the beginning, because as time continues in this, it's going to begin to affect an enormous amount of products that people don't even think about that have computers in them. of course, video game consoles, phones, cars. I mean, there's so many things that will be affected by this situation. And guys, I don't know if people outside of the scope of like people that don't build or have never built a PC or dealt with PC parts. I don't know if y'all don't. Maybe everybody doesn't get like how significant it is that the brand Crucial is going away. Like that's. I mean, the Linus Tech Tips people probably were more upset about that than Rob Reiner passing. I mean, it was it's a very, very significant thing. And there's no other. I mean, Samsung has said stuff. We're trying to figure out what's really going on with them, with their RAM situation that they make, and but it's like, yeah, man, there's nobody else stepping up. A lot of times when stuff happens like this, the community we kind of just shrug our shoulders and go, somebody else will fill that void. Somebody else will step up. Something else, And with the RAM, that's a different beast because RAM is, it's a technology that not every company has any idea how to even like be involved in. Like it's that's the bleeding edge of PC technology is the RAM. So yeah, this is a weird time, man. This is weird times. And it's and then like last time was suggesting about the tariffs. It's like, guys, we're creating a perfect storm to really screw up like home PC and home gaming and home electronics. We're in consumer electronics. We're really this is a time where things are going to evolve in a very bizarre way.
Yep. You were saying, and I mean, right there on the thing, some things that I read that are already saying MacBook and iPhone prices are probably going to go up in 2026. That was just the story referencing those two. It's not like Dell and Android use different parts or use different types of things. Android phones are if iPhones go up, Android phones are going to go up. If MacBooks are going up, Dells are going to go up. Is Half-Life 3 a thing? Like I thought Valve was done making games and just wanted to bring in all the money through Steam. But anyway, apparently Steam Machine's already said, we may not be able to get this thing out like we said we wanted to now. But it gets worse. So that's stage 1. And then we hit stage 2. Now this one is iffy. On December 15th, leaks. And so this wasn't even an official story. This was leaked information. Leaks said Samsung would halt SATA SSD production, at least for a while, which could lead up to 18 months of pressure. The same day, Samsung reached out and said, no, we've never said that. That's not the case. But there are people online that are still saying it is. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like if maybe this is wrong. If not, maybe Samsung's just like, shit, we didn't want this to get out yet. But we're gonna have to see on that one. So let's do a little chicken to chat, like Cyrus likes to say here. Maybe Jared Kushner in this Afghanistan place when EA would make RAM now. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna happen. Who's gonna pull off with Nintendo did to save gaming for gaming if gaming falls? No one, because Nintendo's leading the charge in screwing gamers right now. Half-Life 3 is rumored, not confirmed, but the rumors are strong. They are for sure working on a game called Deadlock. I hadn't heard of that one. So, well, that SATA SSD probability just focus on, like it's crazy. So this one was not confirmed, possible. We'll see. Not going to help. So basically now your RAM is already definitely 100% gone up. Now you may have a hard time buying a new hard drive for your computer. And then we hit stage 3.
Oh, yes.
On December 17th, Nvidia might cut RTX 50 GPU by up to 40% in 2026 due to, say it with me, kids, the RAM shortage. Just like you were saying, Cyrus, it's not just RAM you're sticking in your computer. It's going to affect everything. This could affect specifically, they're thinking the RTX 5070 Ti and the RTX 5060 Ti first. I was not looking at buying a new video card anytime soon. Wolfus is, at least he was hoping he was. It's funny because he has this game plan as to what he wants to do. I'm actually looking at, and I've started doing research. I'm currently running a Intel 5 processor, and I'm looking at moving to a Ryzen 7. I could still use DDR4 RAM. That would be fine. I wouldn't have to buy new RAM or whatever. Wolfus was looking at going up really high. Like he was looking at a Ryzen 9, new motherboard, new everything. Like he was wanting to lock his system out.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, so he's already told me, he's like, yeah, Dad, I may have to find something that'll run on the AM4.
Well, I saw a story today about how a lot of older graphics cards and older components, motherboards, things are running out of inventory. You know, the 3060 was one they specifically mentioned. The 3060 is sort of like this, it's been around for a while. I think it was originally put out in 2021, the 3060, but it was too expensive because back then we were going through the pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of sat for a while. But then the stock built up for it. And so a lot of retailers and places have had, different 3060 cards sitting out there. A lot of people were using that as sort of like a cheaper alternative that could still do pretty much whatever they're trying to do. I have a 3060 and I'm fine with my 3060. But apparently the stock is drying up on a lot of these older things too. So a lot of people that have been thinking, well, I need to get a video card, but maybe I can spend a little bit less now, and then in a couple of years, maybe something will be better. A lot of those cheaper, older cards their stock is running out because they weren't being replenished properly. So, it is what it is. We're running up to this. I don't want to be so negative that I start calling things a perfect storm and, this sort of stuff.
But this is pretty perfect storm, man. Like,
well, that's why I'm trying to not do it, because I'm like, this is not good. And this is just the beginning. Like, dude, PC gaming, look, again, I'm not trying to be that guy who's the sky is falling, but I will say this. I don't think I've ever seen a confluence of circumstances so perfect as to damage the scope and capability and proliferance of PC gaming. I don't think I've ever seen that so crystallized as it has now. This is like, you guys, you got to add in a lot of other stuff too, because PC gaming has a problem. I don't know if you guys are, I've talked about this before, but a lot of people seem to ignore this whole thing. So I'm just going to say it again. PC gaming is great if you're already a PC gamer. Like if you know about PC gaming, if you're aware of what PC gaming is. But if you don't, there's no advertisements for PC gaming. PC gaming doesn't have presence in stores. You have to know what to look for if you're going to go look for it on Amazon or wherever. There's a real nerd problem with PC gaming. Like when they decided to move everything digital and took away the physical aspect of PC gaming, it was a ticking time bomb, because the less and less exposure the coming generations have to PC gaming around them in their space that they live in, it becomes something you just either have to know about or go look up, and this is where it becomes niche. This is how a tent gets smaller. And now, if you take away the one advantage that PC gaming had, which was an abundance of options, what is the one thing you always hear from PC Master Race people? More options is always better.
Mhm.
Well, now we're having fewer and fewer options and fewer availabilities and higher prices. I mean, there's always been at the bleeding edge of gaming technology on PC, there's always been high prices, but there's also been ways to do it on a budget. There's always been, yes, PC gaming, the absolute height of everything, sure, but you're going to pay out the ass. But you could still have a good experience on PC and get you into that ecosystem if you do these things cheaper. And now with the shortage of supplies, with the lack of exposure, with the lack of retail options that are even made available or are presented, with the lack of components that are available, with Windows fucking everybody that has Windows 10 and saying you have to do Windows 11 and causing a whole stream of hardware that is cheap and is available to not even be something that people can get because it's not Windows 11 compatible. Like, this is a perfect storm, and I hate to say that, but guys, this is a manufactured catastrophe. None of this had to happen this way. But if you add up all these things and then the self-inflicted wounds, like, dude, if you're a PC gamer and you're fascinated with the idea of it and the concept and the technology and the hope that this is where real gamers go and you have freedom and you don't have the pay to play thing going on with the services and you can just do Steam. It seems like it has always seemed like, this is the Wild West and the frontier and all that kind of stuff. And now it's like, God dang, man, how many freaking landmines do they have to throw in front of you just so you can be in this ecosystem? It's getting crazy. So there's a real reason to be concerned, but I don't want to be like I said, I am being
Super
alarmist.
Mega Chicken Little 64.
Wow. Okay.
Right. You didn't see that in the chat? That's hilarious. No. Anyway.
All right, I'll shut up.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So 32 gigs of DDR4. Now, if you want to stick to DDR4, which I'm planning on it, at least for the meantime, you're looking at $200 for 32 gigs. Let's switch over to DDR5. Oh, sorry, you want to be a little bit faster? Double the price. And I'm just like, and it, like, what was it, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? You could have bought this for $150. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's getting hard. As someone who is not and will never be a PC gamer, I couldn't care less about PC stuff. When people start rambling specs and all these already processors and shit, I'm out. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Fair enough, Luke. Fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and move on. But yeah, this has kind of been the thing. And like I said, it's the only reason I'm really far into it right now is just because I was looking at trying to do an upgrade, and so was one of my boys. That being said, let's move on to our next story. Look, consoles are screwed too.
Oh my God.
U.S. gaming spending fell 4% year after year to 5.9 billion. Now that's a lot of billions. But down 4%, that's not good. And that included hardware, software, and accessories. In fact, the article that you sent, Sai, said this has been the worst November for hardware sales since 1995.
Do you guys know what happened in 1995?
Do tell.
1995 is the year in North America that the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation launched. Okay, the Sega Saturn bombed. We know that it had a terrible first year for a lot of reasons. The PlayStation was an unknown newcomer to the console space. Nintendo was a year away from N64. So that was the year that if anybody bought a console, they bought a PlayStation, and not that many people jumped in because they were waiting on N64. Mm-hmm. 1995 is a bad year for, if you want to like pick a year for like console sales for Christmas, that's not a year you want to pick because there's a lot of things working against that concept.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I have a question for you, Eugene.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Something that I've seen a lot of people talk about with the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 just came out this past summer. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers and videos say it's the fastest selling console of all time.
I read that too.
Right? That's what they keep saying it over and over and over. It's the fastest selling console of all time, right? Two things happened in November. PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch 2. PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch, the fastest selling console of all time. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the Switch 1 outsold the Switch 2. So how can you be the fastest selling console of all time?
I was wondering that too. I was just like, because I've gone to the store and they're there on the shelf. Like when Alex and I, once again, going back to our Best Buy trip a few weeks ago, we walked in, we're like, oh, it's Switch 2.
I don't know how to explain.
It's got a big screen on it. When the Switch 1 came out, you weren't finding even the demo models on the screen, let alone the fucking Wii. Like,
right.
People were yanking those things off the wall and running out the store with them. So yeah, I thought the same thing when I read that. That's why I didn't put it on here, because I was like, is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, see, I don't know what the answer to that situation is, like specifically with the numbers. All I'm saying is there's some fishy like stuff that's been going on with the sales information about, and I don't think it's necessarily Nintendo fanboys so much as it is people that are like maybe a little bit concerned about what's really going on with the sales of consoles in general and are not willing to face some of the hard realities of what's really going on. Guys, we're in a dark fucking time. Like, I don't know if people realize how bad it is. Like, Xbox is about to die. Say what you want, they're about to die. Like, it's bad. It's fucking bad. Lou, I'm sorry. It's fucking bad, Lou.
Lou doesn't watch the show.
PlayStation put out a PS5 Pro that nobody's buying. And the regular PS5 is $100 more than it used to be. They put it on Black Friday sale for the price it actually should have been for a little while.
I saw that too when we noticed that when we were Best Buy. I was like,
right,
Alex, isn't that the price it was like normally? He goes, yeah, I think it was, Dad.
Yeah, that goes to what I was saying about a while back about how they raise the price and they lower it for the sale and act like it's
absolutely, yeah.
But the whole industry it's not good. And this Nintendo thing that's going on is particularly noticeable because there had been all this bragging about how good it's selling. And we're all looking at each other going, is it? Look, something's weird.
I know one guy that has one.
Okay.
No, okay. In real life that I know personally, I know one guy. Now, I know, is it Luke that has one that wishes he didn't have it? Otherwise, I can count the number of people I know who have a Switch 2 on one hand.
Yeah, Luke has a Switch 2, but
okay, that's two then.
But he didn't immediately get it. He got it like and he hasn't felt good about it either. There's a lot of people that have bought it.
I'm watching his videos.
Right. I only know like two guys that got Switch 2s that seem to actually really enjoy it, and it's because they play Mario Kart like every weekend on a stream. Okay. So they're doing their thing. But this is a weird time, man. This is a weird time for sure.
And like you were saying, I mean, I don't know if I'd quite say Xbox is dying, but hardware spending dropped 27%. Xbox Series declined 70%.
Dude.
Good God.
Dude, Xbox is done. Whatever they're saying right now, there's no business model that makes sense for Xbox. It doesn't work. Like whatever they're doing and they're talking about for their future, don't worry about it. That shit's not happening. Whatever they're saying, they're done. Like they're done. Like it's bad. It's real bad. Their whole look. If you want to bright side it and say what are they saying that's like on a positive side that's happening with Xbox? Well, like what's best case scenario? Here's their best case scenario from them. This is their best case scenario strategy. They're going to release new Xboxes in a couple of years. They're going to be like $1,000. Their entire plan is to release really powerful, more expensive hardware. That's their plan. You don't win. You don't succeed. You don't sell a generation of super expensive, powerful consoles. Every time it's ever happened, it's failed. Every time. Back to the 3DO, back to the Neo Geo, back to any super expensive, super powerful console. That doesn't work. I mean, you might find a niche audience for that, but you are not saving your ass with that. The Xbox ecosystem is broken. They have bought an enormous amount of studios, shut most of them down, screwed up the games they've tried to release. Even Call of Duty got screwed up. Like, come on, man. Anybody that's still out there like white knighting for Xbox, I'm like, guys, you are not helping your own brand. You are not. If you think you're helping by saying positive things about what's going on with Xbox, you're the problem. I'm like, you're the problem. Yeah, and this is coming. I've said it before, and maybe people don't believe it, but I actually like Xbox, and I want them to succeed. I've loved the 360. There's a lot of things on the Xbox One, especially the Xbox One X, that I really liked a lot. But they have made horrible decision after horrible decision, and they're not the only ones. Sony's made tons of terrible decisions. Apparently, Nintendo is still in the honeymoon phase, but people are starting to. Look at what's happening. There's a reality that's taking shape in the gaming space, whether it's PC gaming or whether it's console gaming. We're in a very, the best way I can describe it is this is a weird time. I don't want to say this is like some, I don't want to be super, super negative, but it's just look at it. Look at the numbers. You got it on screen. I mean,
yeah. 70% for Xbox, down more than 40% for PlayStation 5. I mean, just that by itself, down more than 40%. Your sales declined more than 40%. What the hell? And then the only reason Nintendo is down 10% is because they brought out the Switch 2. If they didn't have it, I wonder what the Switch 1 numbers would be. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's not good. Oh, no. Gaming. I think they peaked a while back is the problem. It's just, they've gotten so fucking expensive, which leads me to my next slide. The average price of hardware for a console is $439. $439 is the average price. That's up 11% year after year. And yet physical game sales fell another 14%, while subscriptions went up 16%.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I saw a chart that showed it was two lines. One was the average price of a console, just any console, and the line goes like up for the price, and at the exact same timeline and at the exact same rate but mirrored going down was the number of consoles that have been sold. Yes. As the prices have gone up, the sales have all gone down. Because you can't sell consoles for that price. It doesn't make sense. It's never made sense. In fact,
no, it hasn't.
We've been upside down in this industry for a long time. I mean, consoles come out and get more expensive instead of cheaper. That's crazy. That's literally destroying the industry. You got Eugene, how many times did you wait to get a console until it got dropped? The price dropped on it, like PlayStation, or a lot of people with the GameCube, a lot of people with the Xbox 360.
Okay, I had a break. Okay, so I did have a break though. Let's see here. So I bought a. Let me think. Going back here, I bought an N64 on day one. I bought a GameCube, maybe not day one, but pretty damn close to it.
Right.
And then I went through a period where all I had was my GameCube. Like I sold my PlayStation 2 and stuff. I was newly married, needed money, really wasn't playing it or whatever. Basically kind of got out of gaming. I bought a Switch on day one. But I mean, it was like what, $250? Like it was not that expensive. But I didn't get my 360 until well into its life cycle. Like I specifically kind of was interested in it and then was like, oh, what is this red ring of death thing? Maybe I should wait till they figure that out. So I waited until that happened and got that. But I didn't get an Xbox One until much later, until after it came out. And I didn't get a Series S until much later, till it came out. And like, and I got a Switch on. No, I didn't get a Switch on day one either. I waited a little bit. I didn't wait till it necessarily dropped, but yeah, like I used to be a day one guy, but now there's no way in hell. Like there's no way I can go to the wife and say, hey, by the way, I want to spend, $450 a week's worth of groceries or more on a new console for, like some of the guys have been saying in the chat, 1, maybe 2 games.
Man,
that's crazy. So
Jon Snow came over to say hi. I think he heard me yelling and was like, what's happening?
What's going on?
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, it's okay, John. We're all right. PlayStation would be dead brand if they don't drop the PS3 price, but instead did this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ceases to be a console. It's more like a mini PC clone. If everything's published everywhere, it takes me back to the 3DO. Yep. It's there. We're buying mini PCs that cannot do it.
Ironically, that's one of the reasons I love the 3DO, because it is basically a consoleized PC from that time. Mm-hmm. So it has like these great PC ports from that time period. It's really fun. But dude, nobody's saying the 3DO was a success. I mean, that thing, $600 console back in 1993 or whatever, that was a bad decision. But what's a worse decision? What do you think? $600 3DO in 1993 or an $800 PS5 Pro in 2025? Like, we got a lot of bad decisions going on.
The PS5 Pro, just because while there are some games that you have to have PlayStation to play, there are not a lot of exclusives anymore, and I could buy it cheaper on either the PS4 or even on an Xbox console and spend less money. Whereas the 3DO, if it was on the 3DO, did you say 3DO or Neo Geo?
Neo Geo is a different situation. 3DO is what I was talking about.
But yeah, 3DO, if it came on 3DO, you weren't necessarily playing anything else, at least not to that level. So
yeah, Neo Geo was even crazier because games, the one cartridge could be $200,
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, which by the way, I literally watched a video that came out today from Tronics Fix. He got a hold of a Neo Geo and managed to fix the thing. And the biggest problem was, and he's like, I cannot believe, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Tronics Fix's new video about the Neo Geo, it came with a 9-volt power adapter. It only needed a 5. And he was like, I'm surprised it didn't blow this thing out. But it managed to still work. So, of course, he's a little bit of a wizard anyway. So, anyway. I would have bought a Neo Geo over a 3DO. Absolutely. You wouldn't have been able to play hardly any games on it, but absolutely.
I had a Neo Geo. I had actually 2 different AES consoles.
I know you brought one of them over to my house and we got to play it.
Yeah. It's awesome, but honestly, it's not worth it. I mean, it's really cool, but especially nowadays, I mean, you can just buy the emulated Neo Geo stuff or download it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's those arcade sticks that came with the Neo Geo, they're not good. I'm sorry, they're not good. The buttons are horrible on those. But anyway, yeah, man, what a weird. This is. I don't know if I'm being flippant when I just say it's a weird situation. It's very, very concerning.
No, it is, because it's always been one of those things when PC prices went up. So like back during COVID and stuff, and when AI first started dropping, and all of a sudden we had CPU shortages, and you can go back further. Then there have been shortages of different PC parts throughout time. The console people could always say, well, and that's why I'm a console gamer, because it's cheaper, there's lots of stuff over here, I'm not constantly dropping my entire paycheck on it, nanny nanny boo boo.
Yeah,
You should be,
boo-boo.
yeah, that's on you for being a PC gamer. And then vice versa. When things weren't so good for the consoles, the PC gamers can go, well, the new console that just dropped, it's not so great. They keep jacking up the game, the price for games and stuff. I can play all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Nanny boo boo, you're a console gamer. That's your fault. Both camps are screwed right now. Like, if you want to be a PC gamer and try to do any kind of upgrades, you're hosed. If you're a console gamer, the future is not looking that great. And it's just like, what the hell are we supposed to do? I guess just keep playing retro games, right, sir?
Dude, honestly, it's funny you say that, because I've actually seen a lot of comments from people in the midst of these videos coming out and conversations happening where people are commenting saying, it's a good thing I'm into retro stuff. Like, so many people are saying, yeah, but see, it's going to impact the retro stuff too.
Oh, it
because
will. Yeah.
The more people that go, oh, fuck this, I'm going to do this. Now the prices and everything, the availability and everything gets affected. It's just it's a tsunami that we cannot escape. It's affecting everything.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Like I said, I'm currently tracking the prices for the hard drive. I'm sorry, not the hard drive. Hey, what's going on, boy? I'm currently tracking the prices for the motherboard and the CPU that I'm wanting to get. And he's not having this. He's not having this. He's like, nope, Dad, put me down.
The claws. The claws.
Good thing you're double shirted there.
Yes, I learned.
I'm tracking them, and it may just be one of those things. It's like, listen, I should be getting a decent tax return. I may just have to bring out a little money from savings and then do this if it looks like they're just going to like skyrocket.
Dude, the prices are just going to get worse for like the next few years, maybe forever. This could be see, that's the thing is, we tend to think like, oh, it'll be bad for a while, but it'll get better. It might not get better. This could be, especially with manufacturers disappearing and studios shutting down and, console companies getting out of the business. And there's so many things. It's not getting better. It's progressively getting worse. I don't know, man. It's a weird time. If you're gonna, I'm gonna say this. If you're thinking about buying something, I would probably buy it right now.
I hate to say that. I do, because it's Christmas time and I know everyone's budgets are already strained. Here's what I would say, because I was actually thinking about this. I thought about this today when I was putting together the show notes and the presentation stuff for the show today. And I'm glad you said that, because my official recommendation as a guy that you should not be taking recommendations on technology, because I'm not, I'm just a Joe Blow spouting stuff out on the internet, is either A, if you're going to do an upgrade, I have to say, yeah, do what Cyrus said. Go ahead and buy it. Like, get the scratch together, get it done now. Or B, if you're not dying, like if what you've got now can handle what you need to do, and this is more of just a want type of thing, don't do it. Like, wait.
Well, it's
something
worth
will
stating,
eventually happen.
It's worth stating that if it becomes hard to upgrade for whatever reason, for all the different reasons, it's worth stating that over time, game developers, software developers are going to target lower spec. That, this is going to affect so many things in the industry that people don't think about, including innovation. This is going to affect innovation, because if people can't upgrade and there's no availability for the hardware that you would even need to buy, no matter how expensive it is, if you're making a new game, or if you're thinking about a new tech, or you're thinking about doing something, you're going to bear all of those factors in mind. If there's not this space at the end of at the peak of the upgrade cycle, if that space is small and super expensive, it becomes an untenable target. It becomes, you've already seen this in PC gaming anyway. You've already seen the old days. Remember the old days? when the new games would come out and the suggested requirements were some freaking crazy stuff that you're like, there's no way I'm buying. I could afford that. Yeah. They used to do that. They used to target. They'd say, well, this is the minimum, but here's what we recommend. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
They're not doing that like they used to. That's not a thing that happens like it used to. And that's just going to continue to diminish. And that is, unfortunately, that's one of the main defining factors of why PC gaming has been the master race, the peak for PC for gaming. You know, the aspiration for gaming was PC gaming because of this potential technology that you could do at the bleeding edge and all this kind of stuff. And when that becomes something that's so far out of reach that it becomes a niche within a niche, then it's like, guys, what are we even doing? I mean, at a certain point, you're just like, what is the point of, what is this? How do we define PC gaming? You know, what is it? What does it become? And then how does that affect the rest of gaming? And like, it's a boulder rolling down a mountain, and it's gathering snow as it goes, and it's picking it up from everything from the peak all the way down. Shit rolls downhill, and this is not good.
Yeah, the one thing I would say that might be a benefit coming out of this is if no one can upgrade or can at least afford to upgrade, some of the companies may actually have to start, optimizing code to where like it runs better. The problem with that is you have to have programmers that know what they're doing to be able to do that. And if you're firing all your programmers and think you can throw anything into AI, that's not going to work. Like AI can write decent code, but everyone I know that writes code is like, yeah, it's great to start with. Like it gets you a starting place, but then it's not elegant. It's not well written. And that's the marriage of science and art that comes into code writing. And they're like, it's not there. And they're like, I don't know if it ever will be there. But can you brain faster than AI? Maybe. We'll see.
I can't. My brain's not good. It's Swiss cheese.
Well, speaking of AI, our last story for the evening.
Oh, boy.
Disney partnered with OpenAI. Disney signs deal to allow hundreds of characters, props, vehicles, and environments to be used in ChatGPT and Sora AI. $1 billion investment allows you to use Disney properties in photos and short videos, but it excludes the likenesses and voices of real actors. So like you might get a cartoon version, can use a cartoon version of Obi-Wan Kenobi or Princess Leia, but you can't use, Mark Hamill, you can't use Carrie Fisher. It's not going to be like that. And they're really looking at hooded characters and stuff like that. Let me finish here because I've got a question I want to ask you, Cyrus. They are also putting in filters to prevent quote unquote harmful content from being created. A lot of people are worried about this because it could lead to the cuts of storyboard artists, background painters, junior animators, etc. Have I gone crazy, Cyrus, or is Disney not the absolute number one company that if I decided to draw Mickey Mouse, smoking a blunt and put it online, are they not the absolute first company that would come down with the lawyer hammer and just absolute and totally destroy me?
Mm-hmm.
So then why the fuck are they going to allow people to just not do whatever, but do a lot of whatever? Because we all know there are tons of ways to get around the filters in AI. I'm just like, has Disney lost their fucking mind? Like in my ranking, here's Disney, Nintendo's number 2. Like Disney and Nintendo are like number 1 and number 2 of if you mess with our stuff, you will no longer exist. We're going to sue you into oblivion. And now they're just like, no, go ahead and take our stuff and do whatever you want with it. The fuck?
I think I have an idea of what's going on here. And what I think is happening is Disney and their, the people at Sora and all these different places that they're partnering with, they have figured out basically they're using this to train an AI model. This is not about what they say it's about. I think this is
Okay.
them.
Go on.
I think they're using this to get the public to help them train their AI stuff, their software, so that they can implement this into other things. Like this is the beginning of Disney using AI to create actual content for Disney, not just stuff for people. They're using people to help them train their model so they can create AI generated TV and movie show and stuff like that, like actual content. And it's like I mean, that's what's happening with every AI model, really, in some form or another, including social media algorithms and stuff. They're used to generate different things that you don't expect, whether it's like marketing information and marketing campaigns, or the music generation stuff that happens is used to help train AI models for commercial music that's being used for whether it be advertising or other things, including actual albums that are coming out. I think this is Disney trying to get an AI model created so they can use it to generate, instead of having to pay CGI artists and people to make their special effects and various different things for their movies and TV shows. I think they're going to replace a lot of them with AI. I think the plan is in the next 5-6 years to start putting out, they'll still have, and this is why the actors is not a big deal. Like them not allowing the likenesses of actors is fine with them, because they're probably going to shoot the real actors and stuff like normal, but then do the stuff they would normally do with CGI, technicians. They're going to have AI do that stuff. They're maybe not for everything, but you're going to see it happen. You're going to see it happen for TV shows and Marvel stuff, probably, and probably Star Wars things and stuff like that. You're going to see, what we think of as the movie industry is going to fundamentally change in the next few years. That's what I think.
So when I first read this, I didn't know exactly what they were using it for. I saw that, I saw the initial thing. Disney is partnering with OpenAI. They're putting $1 billion investment in there. And I thought, oh, this could be interesting. This could be good, because I thought they were going to be doing more of this. Have you seen this?
No.
This is an AI controlled puppet of the character Olaf that literally can walk around the Disney parks and interact with people. And I thought, that is fantastic. Like doing these little characters that can walk around the park, like having the robots and stuff, the different androids and stuff from Star Wars going around and interacting with people. That's genius. That would be a great idea. And I thought, well, Disney parks need something, because they're getting their asses handed to them by Universal and all this other stuff that's going on. And I'm just like, this is great. Yeah, they should be doing stuff like this. They should be partnering with OpenAI to create more characters like this. So when you go in the park, you can have these really cool, magical experiences with these characters. That's what I thought was going on. But then when I heard what they're actually doing, I was just like, what?
Yeah. By the way, what you just said is going to take away a lot of jobs from actors who work at the theme parks, who dress up in the costumes and do stuff.
Well, I'm talking about like characters that you can't dress up as. Like,
that's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
But that's not where the line will be drawn. They'll have Darth Vader out there. They'll have Boba Fett out there. They'll have, yeah, they're not going to stop with the little robots. That's the test. This is
I
all.
don't know. The little robots, you can do stuff you can't do with people. Plus, Laney worked at Disney World. They pay those people very little. Like
Yeah, but
the spreadsheet's going to have to really come down for them to be like, oh, we can replace this many actors for the price of this thing. Now, I'm not saying it won't ever get to that point. I'm just saying we're quite a ways off for that. But anyway, that's what I was looking at. But when I saw this, I was just like, because like I could see, like, especially when phones started coming out and had apps and stuff like that. I remember there were certain apps that were like, hell, my wife and I even used one. It was like, take a picture of your Christmas scene with your Christmas tree, and it will insert Santa Claus in there or whatever. And then you show the kids, look, we got a picture of Santa Claus. I was like, okay, that makes sense. You can have pictures of the kids and you can insert, let me go back here. You can insert like Stitch, on the surfboard with you and all that. That stuff I totally get. That stuff is that I get that. When they're like, oh yeah, you can do short videos, and I'm just like at what point? I get where there are certain situations with, like, especially kids and stuff, that you're like, okay, I want to do a short little video with my kid where they're interacting with a character that they like. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But I'm like you. It's like, but they're not going to stop there. At some point, they're going to start bringing this into the big budget stuff.
All of the data that gets collected from people using this stuff is being filtered into their system. This is all being used to help them build models. It's not what it looks like. It's something, I'm telling you, this is a big plan for what's going to happen for the future.
And I honestly, like, it's funny because part of me is just like, could that be for better or worse? Because it's not like Disney's been, I mean, granted, fucking Lilo and Stitch like destroyed this summer. Like, it just knocked everything out of the park. Granted, that was also live action. That was also partially live action. So I don't know. Like, they don't have the best track record. Like, when it's like, used to be whenever it was a Pixar movie, it was like, okay, this is going to be a great movie. It's a Pixar movie. It has to be. And now it's like, well, you got a 50-50 shot. I don't know, man. I just, like, I get what they're doing, but on the other part, and then to couple it with everything else, like, there's a lot of people, from what I'm hearing on some different podcasts I listen to, and they're like, listen, don't take financial advice from me. I'm just telling you what I've kind of heard. The stock market is split on whether or not AI, what AI is going. Like, they're basically like, we're getting all the money we can now because we don't know if this is going to keep going or if this is just if this is web 4.0 essentially, and the bubble's going to burst. And I mean, at some point, I think it has to make a really big jump. Otherwise, yeah, I think people are going to start getting bored. And now at this point, the other thing that I thought of when I heard what they're doing with this, the other thing I thought was, well, hell, I now when I see a trailer, if it has anything remotely to do with Disney properties, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars or their stuff, can I believe it? Like, if you can take this stuff and edit out the little Sora thing in the top right or the top left hand there, the next trailer for, oh, look, the next Marvel trailer dropped, and be like, is that real, or did someone create that on Sora? Like,
what I'm trying to say is, we're just a few years away from the whole movie being AI. Like, they're going to put actors in, but all this work from all these technicians and all these professionals, I'm trying to tell you, man, this industry is about to fundamentally change. Like, all the people that are employed by television, movies, production, the jobs are going to disappear. This thing's really going to fall apart, and it's going to be, and we're going to be generating the content. Like, by doing these apps and stuff, we're feeding into it, and they're going to use all that for their models. And yeah, I mean, people are like, well, AI can only use what it gets. Yeah. And it's going to get a shit ton of information from all of us. Like, we're going to create the monster that destroys everything. And we're already doing it.
I agree. It's definitely going to change. I still go back to the whole thing of, I know they're giving everybody these tools to create stuff, but the average person is not a content creator. Like, they will play with this stuff for a little
but that's
bit.
what I'm saying, Eugene. We're not creating content. We're using apps like this that are being fed into the model that they use to create content. So all the data of the various people and their kids and the events and the places and the funny things and the jokes and the dramatic and whatever is just stuff that people are doing in what they think is social media, but it's all being fed into their AI algorithms and will be used to then, type up Luke Skywalker fights Darth Vader in the new Star Wars, and here it comes. And now we have a new trailer for a Star Wars movie that's pretty much 95% AI generated with some actors they add into it. The days of movies, and the reason that they're going to look good is because of the constant feed of new information that comes from these kind of apps, from things that regular people are contributing that they're not even realizing are being used to generate this new thing that replaces all that work that technicians would do. So,
okay. Yeah. I think we were just on two different frequencies. My hang up is I can see this happening. I can see this coming. I can also see this completely being a bubble and exploding, just because the stuff that's initially going to come out of it, or is going to come out of it, we're going to get a couple of standouts. There's going to be a couple of things that are going to be standouts and be like, okay, maybe this isn't too bad. Maybe we can actually do some really cool stuff with the AI. But I guarantee I would be willing to put money on most of it. It's going to be, everyone's just going to be like fed up with it within just, I'm already fed up with a lot of the stuff. Like, I've already, to the point that, like, when I'm going through social media, I'm just like, if it even remotely smells like it's AI generated, I'm not interested. It doesn't matter if it is legitimately funny. Like, I found a couple of videos. There's this series that I got stuck on for all of 5 minutes. It's of a cat's, different cat sitting out front in the front yard and misbehaving. First it's like the cat sitting out there with a gun and shooting a gun, and then the woman comes out and is like, "What are you doing?" And then the next one I saw is it's got an Uzi, and then it's got a grenade launcher, and then literally it rolls up in a tank. And I'm just like, okay, I got the joke. We kind of beat the joke to death about 5 times ago. I get what you're saying. If they're just harnessing this for information to pull in for stories and stuff, okay, whatever. They probably could use a shot in the arm when it comes in the story department. But yeah, I just don't see, like, I think a lot of people are afraid that we're going to get away from movies and TV shows because they're going to be like, oh, well, people will create their own stories. They'll create their own stuff. And yes, there will be some people that are going to create stuff, and there will be some people that create some really good stuff, because, as much as we like to lean on the old model for television and movies and stuff, a lot of bad movies and TV shows get produced and are still constantly produced. Right. And there are some really good scripts I know that are sitting out there that will never see the light of day for one reason or another, that were written by average people. And this might bring some more of those to light. But I just always think about, like, if you look at the majority of the stuff on YouTube, the majority of it is okay. Yeah. There are several standouts, though. There are some people that are producing stuff on their YouTube channels that I swear two decades ago rival everything that was on a certain channel. Like Geekstorian, his stuff should have been on G4. Like, right. No problem. His episodes are really well researched.
Especially that Metroid episode, if you're listening.
Yes.
Nick, that Metroid episode. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
GameSack, the shows he does, he even, like, I don't know, it's funny the way he does his show. Like, there's breaks, like you'd be inserting a commercial into it. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is stuff that would have been great on G4 had they not destroyed that channel completely. So, like, there are some standouts, and like I said, I know there will be some standouts using this stuff, and as it's coming out. I just think the majority of it's just going to be. And I kind of hate to be that person that keeps using the word AI slop, but a lot of it's just going to be AI slop, and I don't think it's going to be beneficial to anyone.
Let me say this. So I completely feel what you're saying. And just a couple months ago, I had a different mindset about this, because I was thinking in terms of what you said a second ago about how like the idea that people were just going to make their own content. I kind of was thinking maybe that was the plan, and that eventually we just wouldn't have game studios and movie studios and stuff, and it would just be people slopping their way through AI, making their own personal entertainment. And now I don't think that's the case at all. I think that people are using these AI apps of all kinds, from ChatGPT, Suno, whatever that one is that's integrated into fucking everything into my office now, and I can't remember what it's called. All of this stuff is feeding into a system that is going to be played like a keyboard, like a piano, almost like a, by the people at the studios. Like, those are the people that, like the Warner Brothers and Paramount and all these places, they're going to keep putting out TV shows and they're going to keep putting out movies. But instead of paying $50 million to have CGI created for backgrounds and for inserts and different character animations and explosions on the screen and fake gunshots for their TV shows and stuff, that's all going to be done by AI, because all this information is being poured and poured and poured into these systems that are going to be used for all this technical stuff that would normally and historically be done by people. So I don't think it's going to be us making our own entertainment content. I think it's going to be us using it like it's social media and not even really realizing how that data is getting disseminated into their system, that's then using all of that data to constantly refine and expand and make new possibilities for the AI systems that are going to be plugged into movie making and TV shows and games and stuff. So the industries will still be there. They just won't look like they do now. They'll be completely different. That's what I think is going on.
I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. I don't honestly, and I don't know, maybe I'm being a contrarian about this, but part of me is just like, is that any worse? And the reason I say that is,
oh my God.
Here's why I'm saying that.
What do you mean? Is that any worse? Okay. Are you talking about from an end user point of view? Or
yes, that's what I'm talking about from end. Yes. Is it not good that we would be losing all these jobs? These people would be losing these jobs that, were doing the CGI work and stuff like that. Yes, it would. Some of those people are going to find jobs in doing the AI instead. What I'm saying is even if we dump all of this in there, are we going to get anything better out of it? And I highly doubt it. And I look back at, and here's a specific thing I'm looking at. When was the last time? Can you watch live television? Do you have?
I just use over the air antenna.
Okay. When was the last time you watched anything that was live television that was not the news?
Football.
Okay,
that's
football.
why I have it. That's
Fair
the only
enough.
reason.
Fair. No, that's honest. That's a good reason. Because honestly, the only reason Christy and I watch anything live is so she can watch football, and then I can turn on the news and see what is happening.
Oh, by the way, my condolences to your wife for the loss of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, she's not happy.
ACL.
She's not happy. Anyway, if you watch like any of the TV shows that are on, like it's the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older.
No, you are so right.
But it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And the thing, when I clicked to this, when I grokked this, was all the way back. Think back to the 90s, TGIF.
Right.
There were shows on TGIF, specifically the one that stands out to me the most was Family Matters. But fucking Urkel. Could not stand fucking Urkel. But I've always wanted to do this as a thought experiment. I've just never wanted to actually go back and do it because I do really dislike that show. But I have always thought I could sit down with a stopwatch and a pad and paper and literally sit there and go, click, first joke, click, second joke, intro, third joke, introduction to this, introduction to this. I I guarantee you that show was so formulaic. And that's exactly what I thought of when you were talking about playing it like a piano, playing like a keyboard. You would literally be like, all right, it's time to write our next episode of the Cyrus Martin Show. Okay, click, we need joke. AI generates, oh, here's all these jokes. That's a good one. Put that one in there. Grab this. And literally it's just being done, and it generates almost the entire fucking thing. I can see where that could be coming. And that's what I'm saying is it any worse than some of the shit that we've been shoveling out for decades now?
Dude, I'm not disagreeing with that. And I'm not saying that the industry is blameless in leading to this situation, because, you know, they have the quality of things has gotten bad in a lot of ways. And that's the only reason that this even becomes tenable, because the quality and the expense of things, and there's a lot of reasons probably, but yeah, dude, it is bad because you're going to take the idea of professionals out of the industry. You're going to diminish the value of professionals who contribute, you know, their, not just what they do for that one moment, that one writing for that episode, or their CGI work that was used for this, or their music work that was done for that. You're taking people who would be in the industry and affect other people in the industry and create art. And art should be something that is, you know, evolves, and things influence other things in a way that's very human. And you're fundamentally changing the whole industry as far as what it's going to be. And I think in some ways quality could actually be improved from the AI stuff, but in a lot of ways you're going to lose what made it, you know, over time, especially, you're going to lose what made it human. You're going to lose what made it, you know, part of our culture. And it's going to become very alien, and we're going to become alien, and everything's going to affect everything. It's not this one thing. AI is in everything. It's going to affect the entertainment industry in this way. That's going to be in a lot of industries. A lot of industries are going to be replacing human contribution with this AI stuff. You know, whether it's the financial industry, whether it's, you know, entertainment industry, whether it's, you know, whatever business that you're in of any kind, whether it's schools, you know, AI is going to be replacing a lot of stuff. And it's going to happen in ways that people we don't have a good enough imagination to know what the future is and what's really going to affect everything. But I'm telling you, there's a reason that more money is being spent on this AI stuff than anything ever in the history of mankind. Like, what's being poured into the AI investment side of things is because I'm telling you, there are corporate interests beyond anything we can imagine as far as what's going to be going on with the AI implementation. And you're right. I should mention earlier in the chat, I should be using my Alex Jones voice for this.
You just saw that.
The globalists are about to take over the world using an AI model that's created by the lizard people.
I was going to point that out, but you were in the middle of a rant, and I was like, nope, don't let go. Yeah. So, okay. So
I don't think it's a bubble, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's a bubble. I think
I do to some extent, but go on.
Okay, but Eugene, I could be wrong. That's sure. But it's tempting to want to think that this has to be a bubble, because in the past, when you see something like this, where so much money gets poured into something and it just seems like it's way too much, and it's like, okay, this can't go on forever. This is, you know, they're pushing this too hard. Something's going to give here. And normally 99% of the time, I agree with that, because that's always pretty much been the case. But with this, I don't think we know. I don't think as a public, we have all the information. We don't know what these corporations are really doing. Like, we're seeing a piece of what we think is going on. But I really feel, and the more I learn and the more I see, the more convinced I become there are layers upon layers upon layers of plans in the corporate interest for what this is going to do to every industry and society in general, from the government to private industry to a lot of services that we have to entertainment, obviously, computer stuff, data collection, data dissemination, law enforcement. There's so much stuff tied into this. This is a fundamental change in everything that we can think of as industry and society. I don't think I don't think to think of it as a bubble is to suggest that this is something that is not, that the tentacles have not reached into everything. Because if the tentacles are sinking into everything, that can't be a bubble. Because if that if that was to burst, it would destroy. It would be Terminator. We would kill the planet. We would destroy ourselves. And maybe that will happen too. But I just feel the more I learn and the more I know and the more I see, especially in the business side of stuff, seeing how this AI is affecting, I'm seeing it in real life at my job. I'm seeing things. And I'm like, this is way bigger than I think I ever realized it could have been. This is when these mega billionaires talk about AI and they suggest that it is what I'm beginning to understand it to be, I'm now beginning to understand why they're saying that. So I don't think it's a bubble. I wish it would be a bubble, but dude, I'm a guy who lives in the past and loves retro. And so my understanding of modern tech in the future has been very limited. And I don't want to think about this kind of stuff because I don't enjoy it. But, my eyes are opening, dude. I'm sorry. And, these are the kind of things that America needs to hear. And by the way, I'm selling a new chocolate shake. It's coconut vanilla cream.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm still of the thought process, and I kind of keep coming back from Ray, our buddy Ray's thought. Do I think a lot of people are going to be perfectly fine with whatever AI generates, and that's what their entertainment is. I will die on the hill that the majority of people, even though given the tools, because look at YouTube. Anyone could start a YouTube channel. Anyone could have something on YouTube. Yeah. But the majority of people don't. The majority of people don't want to be content creators. So I think there's going to be very few people who are going to do this. As for what AI generates, is it going to be better? Maybe. Do I think it's going to be better? Probably not. But I still think if it is not doing well, if it is not generating the stuff that we want to see, that's the bubble that's going to pop. Do I think AI is gone? No. I think AI entertainment may be the bubble. Maybe that's the point I haven't been able to specifically get across. I think AI is going to keep moving forward, and I think it is going to continue. Like you said, it is revolutionizing everything, and it's going to continue to do that. Now, we're going to have some setbacks. The AI bubble thing, I think, may be, when I say AI is going to be a bubble that's going to burst, I'm specifically talking about entertainment. I'm not talking about AI in general. I should have clarified that. So sorry, bad on me. Just because it's funny. I listened to this podcast, and it's 3 YouTubers, and the one guy keeps talking about loud. He's in this conundrum where he's like, I've been doing this for over a decade. This is how I make a good portion, if not the majority of my money. And he's like, there are things I want to do that I know if I do and put out a video on this, YouTube is going to punish me for it because it is not what people are expecting. And the other 2 guys were trying to tell him, maybe you should give it a shot anyway, because maybe they're not necessarily coming for the content. Maybe they're coming for you. And I think that's going to be one of the things. I guarantee there's going to be AI generated characters that people are going to be like, oh no, I follow this person and they're great and I love them or whatever. And who knows? Maybe I will find one of those people in the future. But it's the human connection stuff that I think that is going to eventually win out. I know you would disagree with that.
Well, what I'm trying to say, I think we're both trying to get someplace in the conversation, and we're both kind of struggling to kind of get our actual point. I get what you're saying, I think, but what I'm trying to get across is what you currently identify as AI content creation is a minor, tiny little piece of what actually is happening with AI content creation for entertainment. Like, people making funny AI videos is not even the real story. The real story is what we're doing right now on this stream is being captured and is being stored on Google servers, and all of this Google stuff, whether it's YouTube or images or pictures or whatever, or text, voice, all the stuff is feeding into these AI models. And those AI models are going to be used to continue to create better and better entertainment. And I'm not talking about people creating entertainment, but the AI is going to be replacing people's jobs for what we think of as professional entertainment.
Oh no, and I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And like I said, the short videos is just an example. No, I mean, I've already seen it. Hell, whenever Christy was watching the the Thanksgiving football game that aired, I was the first one in the room that went, and I wish I could find this video. I don't know if you noticed or not. The turkey had 6 legs on it. The turkey had 6 legs on it. It had 6 legs. I was just like, wait, what the fuck? Of course, it panned right past it. This was on broadcast television. Yeah, and I'm just like,
the 6-legged turkey is a thing with football, though. That's been going on since Madden in the 90s.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a thing.
That was a purposeful thing.
John Madden invented the 6-legged turkey. That was something that's part of football.
Okay, then that makes sense, because I was just like, because here's the thing though, Coca-Cola brought out that fully AI generated commercial, and there was tons of backslide on it. Hell, I almost put an article on here as like our last story that McDonald's did some kind of an AI commercial in Europe. It got beat down so bad they finally took it off, and Whataburger decided, oh, we're going to jump in and beat them down on this as well. Like, they took one of the characters, the AI generated characters in the McDonald's commercial, and specifically was like, hey, here's the funny thing about AI characters is this was just a generalized character. This wasn't copyrighted. This is just something you generated. Guess what? We can use it too. And we can use it to say how much your hamburgers suck. And I was just like, good on them. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I know it's coming. I know it's happening. And I know a lot of people are going to be perfectly fine with it. Like, as is, I'm hearing some people that are saying that, like, yeah, AI is the best thing ever because now I have plausible deniability for absolutely anything that's ever happened. And I'm just like, oh, well, that's a giant suck. Not that we don't have politicians that have already been claiming that for years. Anyway, I never said that. I kind of got proof. You said it right here. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I think you're right. I think you and I are kind of coming at this at a little bit different angle. We're not quite on the same thing. We're definitely not coming to blows on it because we're friends and it's not that important. So,
it is important. It's super important. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's important for us right this second. How about that? It's not impeding what we're doing on this show or whatever, even though we keep bringing up stories on it. So, what?
By the way,
Captain Underpants, human interference here. Yes, it is a bot, but it means trained by lots of Captain Underpants voice samples, videos, and trained and talk like him. Okay.
I don't know who your Captain Underpants is, but
we don't either because my boy is currently questioning him, whatever. Okay, so full disclosure, the other day, Captain Underpants joined us on a chat, and my other boy is talking about changing his name on YouTube. And whenever it jumped in, I thought, or he or she or whoever it might be, jumped in, I thought, please tell me Nicholas did not change his YouTube name to Captain Underpants. That's why I said, I think I knew who Captain Underpants is. So I texted him. I don't know if you were watching the show. I texted him and was like, Nick, are you Captain Underpants on YouTube? And he's like, no, why? Of course, then he got excited about that. And I was just like, okay, Captain Underpants has found the show. That's awesome. So
Yeah, I'm certainly positive that it's not Alex.
No, it's not Alex.
Yeah, he's immediately responding to everything that.
I mean, he does have multiple accounts on YouTube, and I'm just like, okay. Anyway, the good thing about AI is if you guys decide you don't feel like doing an episode, you can just let AI sub in for you. I have seen and heard some of those podcasts that have been recorded by AI voices and stuff, and I'm just like, no. I mean, eventually, yes, I'm sure eventually there will be enough data. Hell, there's probably already enough data. You and I have been doing this for over a decade. It's not high quality video, but I guarantee there's enough to go ahead and put together an AI Eugene bot and an AI Cyrus bot.
Wow, you're probably right.
Think about
it. I mean, we kind of repeat ourselves a lot anyway. So
yeah, that's true too. I'm sure it's like at this point, my AI bot may be screwed up because it's like, wait, you told this story this way the first time, then you said it a little different this way. Like, which is it, dude? So yeah, maybe I'm doing that. So I don't want to keep bringing in stuff, but I just want to ask you this: if your family was okay with it, would you ever think to turn over your information, say, yes, you could use my likeness, and create an AI Cyrus that continues to haunt the internet?
First of all, I don't think my family would give two shits. I don't think they care. I don't even think most of them ever watch what I do anyway.
Fair enough.
So that's that. As far as continuing to haunt the internet, I've never thought that what I do on the internet was particularly interesting anyway. I kind of am just another voice kind of in the crowd, which I enjoy because I'm just trying to hang out with people. I'm not trying to be a standout, you know? So the concept of me, of a likeness of me on the internet talking would be, let me say this. Why would that even need to happen at all? Because the only reason I do this is to hang out with people.
Okay.
My likeness would have no purpose on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It would be really weird. Like, if you're going to put me on the internet as a likeness and have me do something, great. Like, but you know, what's funny is I bet you anything in the years to come, that will happen, and people's likenesses will be on the internet doing stuff that they won't even be aware of that their likeness is doing, and it will continue on past their lifetime. And when people think of, oh, I watch the Eugene show every day. Eugene's been dead for 15 years. Oh, well, I used to really like his show. Wait a minute. Was that really Eugene that I liked, or was it the AI Eugene that I really liked? Or what? And I don't know. It's going to be like people will have opinions about fake people that don't exist. Like they'll be like, I didn't like what Eugene said about this topic. I'm going to make a response to that. That's an AI that you're responding to. That's a fake version of a person with a fake opinion that doesn't really exist. And you're going to make a response to that. This is what we have to look forward to, is fake interaction with things that don't really exist, and feeling things because we've been roped into feeling things. We're already being manipulated like nobody's business, right? That's happening all over the place. We're being baited into rage bait and all this kind of stuff. People feel like, well, I make videos because that's what I want to make. Really? Or are you being manipulated a little to do certain things? Well, anyway, never mind. I'm going on a whole... Again, I need the Alex Jones voice for this. But yeah, that's what I think. Can you imagine, Eugene, you die and you're still putting out videos 10, 20 years later, and people are thinking that that's something that they should engage with, and their memory of you is the AI you and not the real you. And maybe the AI has developed opinions that you've never had and never thought, but people attribute them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because stuff happens in time, right? There's new presidents, there's new events, there's new laws, there's new situations, there's new societal norms, you know?
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, something might be relevant that you have never thought about in your life, and your AI has an opinion about it and has made a stream or 15 streams about this topic, and it's something you would actually fundamentally disagreed with.
That's already the reason I kind of bring this up. This already happened. Remember, several years ago, they brought out that George Carlin new album, and it was basically they fed all of his acts into an AI, and then was like, well, what would George Carlin feel about the current president or the current economic situation? And then a guy went in and kind of spruced up the jokes or whatever, and they put it out. I mean, I don't think they put it out for money. They just kind of put it out as a thing to be like, whatever. And I've heard stories where people are just like, not even public, not even doing it public, not even creating AI Cyrus to go on YouTube. What if you were like, would you ever consider creating an AI Cyrus just so that your daughter in the future, if she ever wanted to just talk? See, I think you and I are of the era that's just like, that just sounds weird. I'm going to
think that's the thing. I'm going to give you a personal, I don't like to make personal things.
Go ahead.
But I'm going to tell you something personal that I thought about recently. Really good friend of mine that I used to know that you've met. His name was Max, not Mad Max Movies Entertainment. Different guy that I knew in high school. Really good friend of mine. We were going to do a comic book together. We did a bunch of stuff. He actually came up to Killeen for a while and hung out with us. He passed away in like 2009, and I had some old photos of Max, and I thought about, in my brain, thinking about things, I wonder, they're old, crappy, low resolution stuff. I was like, if I fed these in to something, could I make better pictures, better quality? Because the quality is pretty bad. And instantly I was creeped out by the concept, because I was like, oh, that's really weird. Like, do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. That's crazy. What? Wait a minute. What am I even talking about? Because what I would be generating is not actually a picture of my friend. It's almost like a ghost of pieces of him that are being used for something and turned into something else. And then in my brain, I start to think this new thing is him, but it's not, you know? And that's what I was talking about with the weirdness of people deciding their opinions about your AI of you. I wouldn't want my daughter to have some AI version of me, because God knows what that thing would do or say or opinion it would have. Or I don't want her to ever have a memory of me that's not of me. Because God, no, what is that? It's really weird. Like, we really need to think about how inhuman and bizarre that is, you know? So yeah. Just to clarify, feeding that picture into AI to have it spruce it up, that's a no-go. I don't think that I want to do that. No.
What about feeding that picture into Photoshop and sprucing it up?
Well, then it's me affecting a photograph based on whatever I decide I'm doing for my, artistic need or ability. It's not being recreated like a fucking transporter from Star Trek that reassembles you into something that might be you or might not.
Oh, we're going to go down a rabbit hole here.
I'm just saying, this is what I was thinking about, because I was like, it's making a better version of a picture. What is it basing that on? What pieces of information are being used to regenerate something that's similar to a photograph that I had of an actual person? And then my memory of that person becomes affected by the synthetic photograph that was created by a computer's model for whatever pieces of data that it decided should fill in the gaps in the dinosaur DNA from Jurassic Park. It's bizarre. And the more I thought about it, the less acceptable I found it. Like the more I was like, no, this is weird. I don't want to do this. And no, yeah, I don't think it's good, man, to have representatives like CG, or I don't even know, AI. It's not CG. No. AI recreations of something somewhat similar to us that continues on and develops in other ways that are going to be not us. What's that? What's happening with that? That's not us. Like the AI is going to continue on and have opinions and ideas and thoughts and affect other people's remembrance of us and idea of who we were as a person. I mean, dude, no. I mean, can you imagine how horrible it would be if my daughter is talking to an AI me and the AI me says something that not aware of our history together as people and has an offhand comment that has a completely different meaning to her than what it thinks it has because it's AI, and she's thinking of it as me. There's so much potential there for fucked up, like human. It scrambles my brain to think about it. My brain was already Swiss cheese. Now it's really become scrambled eggs.
That's the purpose of this show. Is I'm trying to have you go crazy slowly. Anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, dude, you're the one that told me whenever I end up losing my mind from whenever I get old and lose my mind, you're just going to start jamming all these. Hey, remember when you did this thing? And I was just like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but no, but the idea of an AI version of me hanging around after I'm dead is terrifying. I don't even want to think about that at all. Like, Robin Williams, he saw this coming, and he actually had it written into his contracts and stuff that they would not be able to use a likeness of him past once he died for like a certain amount of time or whatever. That dude saw some shit coming. Absolutely. Because, yeah, you don't want some other version that looks sort of like you and acts sort of like you and sounds sort of like you to be perceived as you. That's not good. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I just thought I would throw it out there. So, because we were kind of going down that track anyway. We went all over the damn place tonight. So
that was what I would like to call thought sausage. That was thought sausage.
Thought sausage. I don't think I've ever heard that term before.
You don't want to know how it's made. You don't know. You don't really want to know what's in it. But it is a thing.
But going back to your thing, I totally get it. Like having something that lives on. I don't know about that. That's one of the reasons why I do all these shows, because if my boys ever wanted to go back in, what did Dad think about the first, this or whatever? You can hear me doing that. You can actually hear my thoughts on. And you could probably ascertain from, oh, well, Dad liked this, this, and this. He probably would like this, or he probably wouldn't like this. So, anyway,
I would much rather have people remember me and think based on their memories of me what they think I might have thought about something or cared about than have some computer decide it based on God knows what information it's disseminated into a model that's supposedly me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would much rather people come up with that based on memories of actual me. Absolutely.
Although I still think it would be fun from time to time if you could feed in like information for certain individuals in history just to see what quote unquote their take would be, because I would love to know, hey, so here's AI George Washington, what do you think about this current thing? Because I'd love to see it just like melt down and be like, what the fuck?
Well, for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. Yeah. Not that AI George Washington's going to have any kind of role in Congress. Well, see, but still,
there's another danger. We create fake AI versions of people, and then people decide, no, that's the person. Like, and we have laws that get passed to give rights to AI versions of people. I mean, I don't know. We're getting into weird Star Trek territory again, but Donald Trump, he can't run for president again, but his AI could. Anyway.
Oh man. Funny you mentioned that Eugene Glenn Beck did something just like that with George Washington. I wonder how that turned out.
I'm sure it was perfectly fine and wholesome.
I'm sure. Yeah.
not crazy in any way.
Dad, look up AI George Washington reaction to 6-7. I think you've shown me this. So yeah, no, he has shown me this. His history teacher was excited to show him this. Was George Washington talking about these kids talking about 6-7. They should be worried about 7-6, like 1776. And I'm just like, good on the history teacher, man. Like, so anyway, all right. I guess we're going to wrap up the show. Let's see here. Let's go and move on into our social media. If it'll come up here, there you go. You beat me to it. Cyrus, where can we find you online?
Super Mega Graphics 64, or whatever AI decides I'll be called once I'm resurrected into the world after my passing. And
Fair
Super
enough.
Mega Graphics 64 Plus.
You doing anything on that one, or
I'm actually thinking about doing a bunch of stuff on that channel.
So what are you thinking?
I have a ton of games that it would be fun to do individual videos about and just talk about. Like, I have like a bunch of like PlayStation 2 games that I've barely played that I own the discs for. And I don't really need to keep owning the disc for forever. So I'm like, before I get rid of these, it might be a good idea to do video and kind of go through them. So
Yeah,
I might
that'd
be
be a
doing
good
some
idea.
of that.
That's actually a really good idea. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I am this close to getting my new PC up and running. I basically just have to run through getting the rest of the artwork for the NES, which God, I'm only on like D. But once I get that done, I can pretty much just get a few new games installed. One of the things I want to look at doing is I want to look at going into OBS. May need your help on this and doing like you did. Remember when we were playing F-Zero? Because I was like, I should have the horsepower that I should be able to use the virtual camera, and then we could do a setup, and I could have my F-Zero playing and your F-Zero playing, and we can go through and play some other F-Zeros. So, or whatever the hell we want to play.
Yeah, F-Zero 64, dude. Yeah, if we could make that work, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah! Because I mean, that's kind of what you were doing the other day with PJ playing.
We were trying to do it.
Yeah.
We had some issues, but
yeah,
no, I want to do more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I still have to figure out how that we can play together though. Like, there's got to be a way.
Well, through RetroArch, there is a way to do online stuff, and we just need to experiment with it.
Yeah.
Oh my. And figure out what's possible, because I think it might be possible for us to do some actual 2-player stuff on RetroArch.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. So, all right. Well, you can find me at Optimus Gene on Instagram. Like I said, I guess stuff post on Facebook. I'm not really over there. I actually had two really good two things happen earlier this week selling. Both of the boys wanted to get rid of their Oculus Quest 2s. And I actually had two really good instances with that happening. Of course, my wife's trying to sell some other stuff for them, and it's the same shit. Is this still available? Yes, it is. Dead silence. Like, if I had the money, like if I hit the lottery, that's what I would create. I would create the thing that I don't like. I have to make barely any money on this. Maybe not even making money. Maybe I don't even have to make on it. But I would create the Facebook Marketplace / eBay killer. And it would be like, here's the deal. Anyone that interacts with you, you can rate them. And if someone complains, hey, this was bullshit, you can go back and look at the thing and see that they were a dick. Then guess what? We're going to penalize you. Because I'm so tired of people being like, hey, is this available? Nothing. Hey, when can we meet? Oh, we can meet on Saturday. Then nothing. And it's just like, seriously, if you're seriously interested, don't dick around with people. Come on. Anyway. All right, that is our stream for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Who all was here? We had Wolfus was in here. The last line was in here. Thanks for joining, man. It's always great when you're here. Loving your videos you've been putting out. Who Last Line, Luke's Awakening. Luke's been putting out quite a few things, especially on the old N64 there.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Underpants, who may or may not be a bot. Who knows?
May or may not be Wolfers.
So there's another conspiracy theory there. Maybe it's one of Alex's other ones. May have to commandeer his phone and see what's going on. Let's see here. Tricone was on for a while. I think Bassarino, jumped in here at one point.
Oh, yeah, he was on.
Okay, Bassarino was in here.
I think Born Distracted was here.
Distracted was here.
Trichrome.
Yeah.
Or Trichrome.
Yeah, we had quite a few people. PJ jumped in right at the beginning.
PJ was here, yeah.
Yeah, so we had quite a few people. So thank you for always joining us. We love it when you do, supporting us and everything else. Bass is always good people. Yes, he is. Bass is always good people. We don't always follow what he's going to say, but I love people. Bassarino,
all of the Renos. Great dude, funny dude, crazy dude. Never change.
Yeah. Last Line, Luke's Awakening. If I didn't say Luke's Awakening, my apologies. I should have said. I definitely should have said that. So, but yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. I did update just now the shirt thing at the end here, just because, like I said, I threw some more shirts up there, and I even did another nod to an old Street Fighter game as we're going through. So, for everyone on the site and everyone in the chat, have a good night. Make sure to check out epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all of the shows that we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky Book Club, Creatively Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, EG Live, and EG Gaming. But before you do, make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're a person with a human-style body, why not head over to our TeePublic store and grab a t-shirt, hat, shorts, or whatever else they sell to cover that body. You can find the link in the show notes. And thanks for supporting us here at Epically Geeky. See you next time.
What's the twist? What's the score?